Hi guys, welcome back to the Humble Gamer channel. I am the Humble Gamer. This is some more of my career mode scenarios in Scotland. We are currently at Kirkcaldy pulling a Winter Express. I should get out onto the platform as we are driving a Class 170. We're driving from Kirkcaldy to Edinburgh Waverley. We are stopping only at Inverkeithing, Edinburgh Gateway, Haymarket and Waverley. This is a Winter Express. There was one other scenario on here with the 170, but I thought this one sounded a bit more interesting because last time we did a lot of stop-starty stuff, and the point is all these scenarios either originate at Edinburgh or end at Edinburgh, so hence why I talk about trying to pick the ones that are slightly more original in their construction, because everything goes to Edinburgh, which is unsurprising on this route. Everything goes to Edinburgh. I'd have liked to have done just like a circle run, which just avoid Edinburgh, but this should be about 45 minutes or so, 45 minutes. Yeah, well, half an hour it's saying, just over half an hour in terms of arrival times. But yes, this is going to be some nice, quick, fairly easy running, which is good because if I get this is as loud as I'm going to get. Obviously the mic is close to my face and I've got the gain turned up so you can hear me a bit clearer, but it's about 20 past 11 at night and Charlie is asleep. I've got doors closed, so she shouldn't be able. I shouldn't be able to disrupt her, but I obviously want to make sure I don't, because she's not feeling very well at the moment, and also she's not sleeping particularly well, so I want to give her a chance to sleep. So I won't be getting any louder than this, but it's train sim, so I shouldn't be getting too much louder than this. I'm not gone are the days where I'll be playing Amnesia or Outlast at this sort of time of night. I probably will get back into a horror game at some point, but I'll have to play it at particular points in the day. I'm trying to think what you guys are seeing with me at the moment. You've got the you've obviously got Enderall, and you've got the shape-shifting detective. That's the other thing, and of course my live stream stuff. But yes, it's the shape-shifting detective that's the game at the moment, as well as Enderall, which I haven't finished recording yet because Enderall is a big game. Where are we going? Inverkeithing, so in about 12 miles, and this is the dual controller. Dual controller. This is the dual functioning. The universal regulator. I can't remember what the actual name of it is called, but it's both the throttle and the brake. Yes, hello AWS, first one of the day. Good to see. Good solid start. So just move my camera up a little bit so you can see my atrocious hairline. This is getting cut, by the way, soon at time of recording. Charlie's been very kind and is going to cut it for me. I'm going to be going about as, without going full skinhead, I'm going pretty bald. Because let's be fair, I'm already going pretty bald, so it seemed like the next logical move, frankly, to just step ahead of nature and do it. I keep forgetting these aren't the Class 68s. These aren't, while they can go quickly because they can run expresses, they're not designed necessarily to bomb their way around. We're going the other way around the circle as well, aren't we, to what we were last time? Yeah, we're coming from where we were. We're going opposite to where we were going in the first video. So we have done this, but we've done it the other way around, and of course we did it in summer rather than in the winter. Oh, we're coming up to a 65, so I shall just knock that down to idling. Shall we stay under 65 as we approach it? 65, then a 45, then a 30 in a tunnel, so we are going to have to just slow gradually, I think. What was I saying? Oh yeah, stuff that you guys are seeing. Yeah, after the shape-shifting detective, which should be it's 6 episodes, so you'll probably have 1 or 2 more weekends of it when this gets seen. You might even have finished it by the time you see this. The next long-form game that isn't Enderall, because obviously Enderall is the ongoing game at the moment. The next sort of series is going to be I'm doing. Yes, you may remember that when I do my Sodor snippets, I occasionally mention that I've done a Sodor Football League, and I mentioned in one of them a couple of months ago, I think. In fact, probably would have been summer of the first lockdown, is when I mentioned it. But I happened to mention that I'd put my Sodor Football Leagues in as a database on Football Manager 2016, and that if anyone wanted to see that, I would do a video of it. And one person requested it, so it's happening. Jack Emmanuel requested it, I believe. And so it is happening. And so that'll be the next thing you see, and then after that it's probably going to be Railway Empire Series 2, which is the Transcontinental Railroad. If you haven't seen Railway Empire Series 1, which was British Railways as they should have been done, i.e. from London, the alternative history, it's in the description below, check it out. It was actually good fun. Obviously I recommend you watch it, but that's kind of biased because it's my footage, but it genuinely was good fun to do, and it kind of proved a point as well, which I was kind of happy about. Actually, might just bear with me. Just move that mic even closer to me so I can just go a little bit quieter in my natural speaking voice. But you guys can still hear me. Obviously I will have adjusted it in post anyway, but just self-lap again, get us down to 30 as we enter the tunnel. Put our headlights on. There we go, as we enter the tunnel. And we're still on time as well, this is the important thing. We're going to be about 40 seconds early, technically. I mean, still within the same minute, so I'm not sure that counts as being early. But then on British Railways, it's so confusing that we had a company called British Railways as well. On the Railways of Britain, I believe that in statistics you have to be 11 minutes late to be counted as a late train. That's 11 minutes late at destination, not at any intermediate stop. Which is why you might remember a few years ago there was a southern train in London that was, I think it was one of the Waterloo trains, left Waterloo, commuter trains. It had been late every single day for a year. Now, that means that they've been 11 minutes late at destination for every single day of the year. And the point is that in British timetables, if you'll notice, if two stations are close together, like the two stations that take you 5 minutes to travel between, that are the penultimate and last station on the timetable, for example, our timetable goes Haymarket, then Edinburgh, Waverley. A lot of British timetables will allow 10 extra minutes in between those two stations to make up for lost time. So actually what that means is that at destination it was 11 minutes late, that southern train, but on reality it could easily have been 20 minutes late at other stations every day for a year. And people wonder why the railways in this country are seen with a certain level of disdain by commuters. Which is a real shame, because the railways are a real asset and they could be a real boon, but yeah, that's enough of me being on my high horse. I shall get down off it now and return to the business at hand, which is this route, which is taking a while to load up certain sections, but then again I am rendering a video underneath all this, so it's my job for pushing my computer too hard. It'll be fine, it works itself out pretty quickly, it just takes a while to load in some of the assets. See, we're all good now. Running, I would say, relatively smoothly. Not perfectly smoothly, but relatively smoothly. As we come through, I believe it's a station, but I couldn't tell you which one it is. This is not a route I know particularly well. I know the area reasonably well. I mean, even that's a slightly misleading statement, because I know the area, it's the area that my uncle took me to when I used to go and visit him up there. I don't like know it like on the back of my hand. It's like not like I could direct you around my hometown or anything, or where I currently live. Frankly, I couldn't direct you around where I currently live because I have a terrible memory for locations. Now it's slow down again. I think this must be a station we're approaching. Must be. Or maybe it's just a junction of some description. I don't know, it is a station, I can see a platform. The problem, I don't know. And again, no route learning. Despite the fact that it's literally a scenario that covers the entire route. Where are we going through? Burnt Island. Burnt his land. Love a good bit of burnt his land. Burnt his land. Oh, it's definitely 11:30 in the evening. I don't know what I'm talking about anymore. Not that I knew much to begin with. I can take those small amount of speeding points. What, 12 of them? Yeah, 16. That's impressive. But now I can give it the beans because we're in a 75 mph zone. And we've still got 6 miles to go before we get to Inverkeithing. So, and I'm still on time. In fact, I'm still scheduled to be early at Inverkeithing. Again, I say early. Slightly earlier in the 31st minute of the 11th hour than I'm actually timetabled to. But still, early is early, and as British commuters, we should never complain when our trains are early, even if it is by a few seconds. That's positively cause for celebration. Oh, there I am on the horse again. Get off. Knock that down to 0. I do like the Class 170s. I find them easier to drive than the Class 68s. Although in the last video I'd sort of got the hand of the Class 68, but I hadn't, not really. Mind you, I haven't driven one of these since I drove the Glasgow to Edinburgh run, but that for you guys that would have been like, you've seen that last week, maybe a couple of weeks ago. For me, that was a good month and a half ago, so... I mean, which is part of the joy of the pre-recorded channel. For you, you don't even notice the breaks, but for me, I'm like, I have to try and make the continuity match up. In that you did this you only did this yesterday, why are you so crap at it today? Because yesterday for you was like August for me. Pardon me. We will naturally drop below 56, yep, so now we are fine. We will eventually drop below 50 as well. I think we're going through another station. Only 5 miles away from Inverkeithing, so... that time's creeping up. We're now only going to be 26 seconds early, as opposed to the whole 40 odd seconds we were going to be earlier. We were going to be earlier. Now I need to put some gas into it, just so we can keep up with the speed. Sorry, it's really lagging tonight. It's because I'm rendering a live stream and they're like 3 hours long. Could have thought this through really, but yeah. Another Class 170 going past. Probably doing a similar route to me, although he's going quite slowly, so I suspect he probably didn't stop at whatever station this is. Aberdour. See, that sounds like a Welsh station, not a Scottish station, but then he said, correcting himself, well, not correcting myself, countering myself, they are both Celtic based histories and languages, so now I'll either get Welshans I'll either get Welsh people and Scottish people commending me for noticing that the Celtic connection, or haranguing me in the comments for suggesting that they were even slightly similar. Although they will all agree, no matter who I've offended most, that because I'm English I'm terrible. And they kind of have a point. Not sure how to argue with that. Historically. Me personally, I'm, I guess, alright. Not awful, I'm not great, but I'm not awful. but as a nation, the English, particularly to everybody else, have been a bit shitty. Let's be honest here. Oh yes, Lag City right now. There we go. It's sorted itself out, it's fine. It's not a problem. We got this. Again, as we pull into Inverkeithing, like we saw in the at the end of the last video, we will see the bridges. I'm now going to idle up because limit is only 75, we're already doing 63, we're now going down a 1 in 94. Incidentally, as I said, I have a class 68 on server. I also have a set of class 170s. I don't know if the 170s are in ScotRail. The 68 is in ScotRail. It's the only livery I've got for it. But I don't know if the class 170s are in ScotRail. In fact, I can check on my phone because I have everything about Sodal noted on my phone. Yes, Yahtzee, I'll get back to you later. Not the YouTuber, the game. The actual game of Yahtzee. North Western Railway diesel locomotives. No, I've got it in central livery, the class 170. I think probably because it would have been the livery I'd have seen as a kid. The old central livery. What have we got around the Midlands now? It's London North Western. Isn't it odd how railway companies sort of revert back to, even modern companies revert back to old names? There's a sort of inbuilt heritage, isn't there, in the railways, that they seem to have forgotten in many aspects, but kept in others. Like Glamour, gone. Genuine express services, gone. The idea of a non-stop service from London to Edinburgh now, forget it. Elegant locomotive design, gone. But names, routes, all seem to be, actually routes even gone, but you know, the names, they seem to have held on to them, the company names, which is weird. I wonder why. I wonder why they specifically held on. It can be clung on to rather, but the sort of actual physical bits of the services can't be. Yeah, well. It's one of the vagaries of life, I guess, particularly on the railways. I need to slow a little bit more now, because we are coming up to a 50. That time of braking I was doing 60. 65 I think I was actually doing, so I've slowed down a little bit. Here we go. Yes, as we now are approaching Inverkeithing platform. So I can now drop that into idle. Yes, I thought we might lag a little bit around here. Now this is where I got done at the end of the last video by passing a signal at danger. Not something I want to do this time around. Class 158. Driving one of those in the next video. Just doing a shuttle run. As we approach Inverkeithing, and we can see the bridges. We're going across the bridge at, well, I say at pace. There's a speed limit on the bridge, I believe, but we won't be slowing for either North Queensferry or Dalmeny, so. Here we go, I've gone past where I should have stopped because I'm a 3-coach service, but yeah, either one. We've made it, and we are pretty much actually bang on 1 second early. So, yeah, and then next we're stopping at Edinburgh Gateway in 11 minutes, then Haymarket, then Edinburgh Waverley. So, like I said, not a particularly long scenario, this one, which I'm quite glad about. Not that I dislike long scenarios, it's just, you know, sometimes you don't want to do a long scenario, do you? away we go. As we head now to Edinburgh Gateway, we will go first of all through a tunnel, then we will go through North Queensferry Station, and then we shall... I wonder where that little line goes actually. That eventually goes to Rosyth Dockyard. I see. Right, I like that. But yes, then we go through this tunnel. There we go. I've had reverse headlights on for most of that journey. I've had the brake lights on, the red lights on at the front, the white lights on at the back, which is no good for anybody. Get that cursor out of the way. I think there's a limit of 40 on the 4th bridge. I could be wrong. I have only driven this route once. But well, we'll soon find out, because, like I said, we're not slowing for anywhere, so we'll be hitting the 4th bridge at pretty much full whack, whatever full whack is allowed. Actually, while we're doing this sort of slightly quieter bit, just as a sort of, I guess, note announcement, the next Sodor update will be I'm looking probably end of April, early May. I haven't had a chance to sit down and do a lot of work on Sodor yet, so there's not a lot to show you in terms of the main line. There's a few little bits in other places that I'd like to show you, but again, I haven't done a lot of work on it because I've got other stuff going on. Obviously, work, real life work is happening soon, because we are at time of recording just about next week to come out of ye olde Locky Down. Ah no, it's 50 on the bridge. Okay, cool. So we can go across it at a decent lick. Oh, Edinburgh Gateway's the airport. So here is North Queensferry Station. As we come out of the climb of 1 in 70. To what I think is level once you get through the station. I should hope it is, because the bridge should be level. And yeah, this is where I've mentioned I went walking. It was along there that I went walking in the last video. And this is a part of the world I know pretty well. So let's get ourselves settled. There we go. That's just the 2 options in this cab. Cool. So let's give ourselves the speed to go across the bridge. It's a heck of a structure, this, when you think about it. I love that it's sort of sarcastic, because one fell down and then they say we need to make a structure that's definitely never going to fall down. So they created this beautifully ridiculous structure that's never going to go, as long as it's well maintained, the metal is well maintained. It's never going to go because it's just far too strong. So I kind of like, need a bridge that's never going to fall down. Fucking alright then. How's this? Bang. Slams the designs down on the table. I don't even know if it was a Scot that designed it. I presume it was. I'd hope it was. I lost 76 points for speeding. I guess that's fair. Mind you, once we get off the bridge we can go proper full speed, because we're into genuine mainline territory. I think I would get used to this part of the route being what you're going to see for the next few videos, because like I said, the one way that they're going in whichever direction, this is the part of the route where most of the activities are set. There's not a lot I can do about that, unfortunately. So fortunately, it's got quite a big talking point in that it's got the 4th bridge. But yeah. Oh no, don't ever press 2. Career scenario. You do it as the driver sees it. So you can stick out the window and get out the train at platforms. But and there's Dalmeny. And there's the 80-mile-an-hour speed limit sign. So let's do this. So it's saying 11:42 we should be arriving at Edinburgh Gateway. It's saying that's when we're scheduled to arrive. We are actually going to arrive at 11:41. Which is fine by me, because soon we hit a 90-mile-an-hour speed limit section, so we can keep this throttle up. Bing. Into the 90-mile-an-hour section, then there's a 75-mile-an-hour drop for some reason, and then straight back up to 90. Wonder why. Maybe it's a corner. Yeah, here we go, high speed straight. As we are now, I won't say steaming, but we are heading swiftly towards Edinburgh. So what have we just gone past? Winchburg. Is that stuff under the airport? Never actually noticed that before. Huh. Might have a look at that in a free roam. Might record that for you guys actually to see whether that's under the airport or whether it serves the airport specifically. Drop into 75, there we go. We lost 6 points for speeding. But then straight into a 90 again. Weird. But then soon we're going to have to stop. In about half a mile we're going to have to go to idle because Edinburgh Gateway's coming up. And at 85 mph we're going to need some time to slow without slamming the brakes on. There we go, we are a mile out. Do a natural slow first because we are going up. Actually, when we get to the platform, I'll see if I can see any of those tracks. Because if they are underground, we won't be able to see them. But if they're like up at the airport and above ground, we might be able to see them. So I'll have a scramble up a bank or something. Because we're out of platforms, we can get out of the locomotive, a la Train Sim World. I will be playing Train Sim World on the channel as well at some point, but it is only Train Sim World 1 because I can't afford Train Sim World 2, and it's only the stuff you got with the game as standard. Because I'd rather buy add-ons for this than Train Sim World, frankly. I like Train Sim World as an idea. I like the idea that you can basically control the driver as a person, but I prefer playing Train Simulator, I have to be honest with you. But each their own. I appreciate that Train Sim World it's definitely got its market, and it's definitely working well for that market. And here we are, nice and early, so I do have time to scramble across the track and have a look and see if I can see those tracks, which we're going to do. So come with me while I do that. Lovely. So now we can get out. Do not trespass on the railway, that's fine. I'm not trespassing, I'm a driver. Oh, there's another service coming up. What is coming up now that I've got out? Oh, it's another Class 170. Oh, here we are. Oh, it's electric stuff. Oh, it's a tramway. Oh, that's kind of cool. It's the tram system, and then presumably it goes... Oh, that's pretty cool. Anyway, I'm now breaking the laws of physics even as a driver, so we'll jump back in, and I shall see you when we're ready to leave Edinburgh Gateway. Lovely, there we are. So we can now make our way to Haymarket in 4 miles. It's saying we're gonna be very early at Haymarket. It's saying. Yeah, sorry for just sort of flying around a little bit, but I didn't know that was a little tramway there. That's pretty cool, actually. Quite like that. I wonder where that goes then. There's a fair bit of the tramway system in. That's pretty cool. I like that. Anyway, what was I doing? Centering the player. That's what I want to do. And then we'll just go flying through to Haymarket. Saying we're going to get there in 4 minutes' time. We're not scheduled to be there for another 9 minutes, so there'll be a fair old gap. You won't notice because I shall obviously just fade in, fade out as I just did just then. Let's go think of something interesting to talk about, which is almost certainly not going to happen, because I don't have interesting topics of conversation. I'm fundamentally a very dull man. But you guys seem to enjoy it, so... Guys, gals, folk. To be fair, I wonder if my demographics tend to be male. But if you are female and watching this and enjoying it, or not enjoying it, regardless of your enjoyment levels, hello, welcome, good to see you. Thank you for watching. Please do like and subscribe. Check out the links in the description below to see my other railway-based stuff. Other standard YouTube patter. Pardon me. There is the tram line. It's not even a tram line, is it? It's just part of the Edinburgh-Glasgow run. No wonder why right by the airport. Well, I suppose, yeah, makes a lot of sense, doesn't it? Basically, if you know any more about that little bit of railway that goes up to the airport than I do, which is almost certainly absolutely the truth, let me know what it's all about. We're now instantly driving along track that I drove along. Oh no, there's the tram as well. That's different. That is different. That is a separate track. So, again, if you know anything about it, let me know. Oh, but we are now driving along a bit of track we haven't driven along since obviously first episode of this one, but we first drove along this bit of track in the ASMR episode. There's Murrayfield again. I wonder if that's the same asset. I believe this route is made by the same people that did the Edinburgh to Glasgow to Edinburgh, the Edinburgh to Glasgow route. Sorry. And I'm well aware that at the end of that, I said we'd be playing the Port Road, but obviously, I then was able to buy this route. So it made more sense to do with the Edinburgh bit and then come down the east coast of Britain, whereas I was originally coming down the west coast. But yeah, so there has been a slight change. I'm trying to do a somewhat geographically sensible order to these routes. Not necessarily saying we have to go, you know, if we can't get a train from, like, I don't know, the Edinburgh to Newcastle route. It's not strictly a journey around Britain, but I'm trying to do them in a sort of geographical sense, so we're not just jumping around. Because, you know, I think there's no other reason for it than other that I thought that made more sense to me, and so that's how we're doing it. And also, it's my channel. You know, who's going to stop me? Well, this platform is going to stop me because this is Haymarket and we are here very early, so there will be a slight fade in and out on the video. Platform 0. There is a platform 0 at Haymarket Station. I did not know that. It's kind of cool. Either way, there we are, Haymarket Platform 1. We are not due to leave here for another 5 minutes' time, so I shall see you in, for you, what will be about 2 seconds, I think. But I shall see when we're ready to leave Haymarket. Okay, it's been quite busy actually at Haymarket. It's been quite busy indeed. Lots of trains coming and going in both directions. There's a 158 disappearing. So there we go. We're still limited to 35 mph. We're still going through tunnels. We've got a green light. We had a yellow light to start with, so I'm expecting the yellow light to come back at some point. So yes, I'm going to drop down to 20 mph. And we have to stop before we hit them buffers. So yeah, I think all in all this has been pretty successful. We're going to be on time. Pardon me. That'll be the banana I've had during the break. I have shared a tiny bit of it with the rabbits, and they enjoyed it. But then they enjoy most fruit and veg you put in front of them. They're getting quite fine-mouthed actually. Not accepting anywhere near as much as they used to. Which is, I guess, you know, fine. They have every right to be entitled. Here we are, Edinburgh Waverley. Yes, I need to actually slow, don't I? Oh, that's a bit of a heavy brake application right there. Two ambers. Proceed with caution, I believe. Which is what I am doing. As I enter the 20 mph speed limit that is the station throat. We arrived on the second track from the right. You can just see there. In our Glasgow to Edinburgh nighttime express. 15F. There's quite a lot of platforms. At least 15 of them, and they have to have a separate number or letter. We're going over here, which is the platform we pulled into. No, we pulled into the one just to the right, but yeah, it's basically the same part of the station. And it's kind of cool. I like it when stuff like that happens. just got to start putting the brakes on. But the idea is to end up as close to those buffers as is safe. Oh, but I was braking. Why the emergency brake setting? Oh, well, either way. So, we're here. Well done. Well done. It's me. But either way, thank you ever so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed that, because I did. I quite like this route. I like Scotland. I'm going to miss Scotland when we move into England. But thank you ever so much for watching. If you are enjoying what you're seeing, we'll just get out and have a look at this locomotive. If you are enjoying what you're seeing, please do like and subscribe. Check out, obviously check out the game in the description below. Check out my trains, check out my spped series in the description below. Check out my Train Sim Workshop series in the description below. Check out Railway Empire Season 1 in the description below. Season 2 is on its way, when time allows. Check out the annotations on the screen you're about to see. Thank you ever so much for watching. I was me. That was the Edinburgh to Dunfermline Fife Circle route on Train Sim 2021. Thank you ever so much for watching. See you in the next episode, guys. Goodbye.
No, fuck you. Fuck you all. Oh, that was Golden Freddy. Where are they? Oh, hello, Freddy. Fuck. That didn't happen to other people until later on in the series. Fuck me. Fuck me. He's still outside my door, isn't he? Yeah, hi.